10 places to visit in Israel. Home to some of the world's most famous religious tourist attractions, Israel and the Palestinian Territories is often thought of purely as a pilgrimage destination. After all, this is where some of the main events for those of the Jewish, Muslim, and Christian faiths is said to have happened. But for travelers not seeking out religious sightseeing within the churches, synagogues, and mosques, there are plenty of other things to do. The Dead Sea is a bizarre natural wonder where you can't sink. The Galilee region's natural beauty ticks all the boxes for those who want to hike in nature, and the Negev Desert's raw and rocky landscapes are ripe for adventure and one of the best places to visit if you're seeking some dusty action and outdoor things to do. Number 10. Beit Shean. In a country full of ruins, Beit Shean stands out from the crowd for its excellent preservation. Here, you can get a real feel for the life of a Roman and Byzantine town, with its colonnaded streets, well-restored theater, and extensive bathhouse remains. Stroll the once mighty streets, explore the extensive ruins, and sit in the theater where the Roman city's cultural life was played out. It's a fabulous slice of the ancient world that any history lover should see. Number 9. Marsaba Monastery. Marsaba Monastery is an architectural marvel of the Byzantine age, precariously snuggled into the cliff face as it had sprouted organically out of the sheer rock. Although female travelers are not allowed to actually enter the monastery, the view is enough of a reason to visit, with the metal domes glinting in the sun between the rock face. An easy day trip from Bethlehem or Jerusalem, Marsaba Monastery is one of the Holy Land's great historic sites. Number 8. Caesarea. Caesarea is both ancient and new. It was founded by Herod the Great in honor of Caesar Augustus, who gave him the city. In 1952, it became the only city in Israel to be governed by a private corporation. Antiquities Park is where you'll find the ruins from Herod's extensive building campaign. You'll also find more ruins by walking through the old city, or maybe you'll want to take in a reenactment of horse races in the Hippodrome. The new Caesarea is modern and upscale. Maybe you'll want to sunbathe on the sandy beaches, play golf, or take in the annual jazz festival. Number 7. Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv, Israel's second largest city, is the country's financial hub. But that doesn't mean you should skip coming here, because there's lots to see and do, especially if you're into nightlife. Tel Aviv is known as a party city, as one that doesn't sleep. The city is home to the National Opera and Philharmonic Orchestra. Several travel publication surveys rank the city among the best places to visit in Israel. It's also famous for being LGBT-friendly. Its Mediterranean beaches are some of the world's best. The city has several outstanding museums, including Beth Hatfelsoth, that tells the story of Jewish persecution over the ages. Number 6. Masada. The mountaintop fortress of Masada, overlooking the rugged scenery of the Dead Sea region, is home to incredible vistas and some fascinating history. This is where King Herod's once mighty palace stood, and where the Zealots took their last stand against the Roman legions. If you're up for a hike, the winding snake path is the perfect way of reaching the top, with excellent panoramas all the way. Otherwise, take the cable car and see the views without the sweat. Number 5. Sea of Galilee. Packed full of attractions, the shoreline that wraps around the Sea of Galilee offers gorgeous countryside and bags of history. Whether you're here to visit the churches of Tabgha, where Jesus delivered the Sermon on the Mount and carried out much of his preaching, or you just want to soak in the hot pools near Tiberias and do some hiking, this beautiful region is a major highlight of any trip. Don't miss taking a swim in the sea itself and soaking up the views across the lake on a hillside hike. Number 4. The Dead Sea. The lowest point on Earth and one of the world's most wacky natural wonders, the Dead Sea is a mineral-rich and overly salty sea where no one can sink. Locked in by the cliffs of the Great Rift Valley, this bizarre body of water, where natural buoyancy occurs due to the rate of evaporation causing the high salt content, has been wowing travelers for centuries. A handful of beach resort areas along the Dead Sea shoreline provide facilities with cafes, bathrooms, and the all-important freshwater showers to wash the salt water off of you afterwards. For those who want to take a dip, take a float. You really can't sink, and you'll be won over by the weirdness of this experience, as generations of visitors have before you. Number 3. Nazareth. Forever linked to the story of Jesus in the Bible, Nazareth is one of the main pilgrimage destinations in the country. The holy sites here are some of the most important in the world for those of the Christian faith. This is where the Annunciation took place and where Jesus Christ was brought up, and the center of town is home to important churches that celebrate this history. One of the most important tourist attractions in Nazareth is the Basilica of the Annunciation, but there are plenty of smaller sites in town to explore. Away from the biblical connections, Nazareth's busy, bizarre area amid the twisty old city lanes is a highlight in itself, always bustling with commerce. Number 2. Haifa. Jerusalem is all history. Tel Aviv is about modern dining and cafe culture, and Haifa just does its own thing. This lovely northern city's main highlight is the Baha'i Gardens, which tumble down the hillside towards the sea in a series of immaculate green terraces. They're a must-do for all travelers here, but Haifa's big attraction for many visitors is that it's the perfect base to explore the north. Akko, Mount Carmel, and Caesarea are right on the doorstep, and even Nazareth and Megiddo could be easily done as a day trip from here. Hands down, the most easygoing city in the country, Haifa should be part of everyone's itinerary. Number 1. Jerusalem. Aching with the weight of history, Jerusalem has one of the world's most recognizable skylines, with the golden helmet of the Dome of the Rock glinting above the caramel-colored stone of the old city. This ancient city holds deep religious significance for all those of the monotheistic faiths, and the labyrinth alleyways in the old district are packed with religious sites and mind-boggling history. Dodge the crowds of pilgrims and take a walk along the walls that still wrap around the old city. Explore the city's fabulous museums and immerse yourself in the mazy lanes that kings, crusaders, and conquerors have all fought over. Jerusalem enchants and confounds in equal measures.